Hey guys, this is Blake from Blake's Sanctum, retro site for retro games. Subscribe.
Ooh, the Borg, that's a cool one. The start menu will change each time you load and quit a save. So that is very nice. Look at the detail on the cube. Lots of little intersections and glowing lights. Beautiful. That's a cool picture. And a line from that famous DS9 episode, the really good one where they turn the Romulans against the Dominion. Okay, so here we are at the Imperial Fleet Command homeworld of the Romulans. My huge Romulan Star Empire, they get this lovely starbase, which is very powerful, and I forgot to show you the Federation starbase abilities, but each starbase has a unique set of abilities for that race. They get a holographic fleet, funnily enough. And some of them are really cool. And this is their Imperial Fleet Command, their hero summoning building, and the Romulans get Tomahawk, Sealer, and Denatra from Nemesis. And I'll show you them in a sec. And you click on their planets, and see how the icons have changed. However, the abilities are all identical. Things get a little bit different here. They'll get a different sort of culture building with its own special abilities, like the Tal Shiar can spy on other systems and give interesting boosters to things. And they have like a different type of trading building that can switch between trade and resource, which is pretty cool. And tactically, I think they've got... Oh no, they're the same as Federation. They've got beam weapons and torpedo weapons, whereas most of the other factions only have one turret. And they've got this graviton flux thing. Disables the abilities of enemy vessels within range. There you go, that's a unique thing they do. And of course the big shipyard. And they can lay mines, which is pretty cool. You can just put a whole bunch of mines where someone comes into the system, and construction ships will go lay the mines. Pretty cool. Now, where's my fleet? Ah, there it is. Oh boy. And it's about to have a big battle with the Cardassians. From the looks of things, they've got a huge Dreadnought Titan coming in. So that should be interesting. Here's my fleet. Now I can show you some of the really cool stuff. So their research trees look, each faction looks a bit different now. The military units are up here for these guys, and you can research all the different warbird types. And I think this is the starbase sort of one. Then we got a lot of the resource and gold and planet stuff. And of course the diplomacy one. So there's differences but also similarities, and they've all got, you know, their own sort of, each of them have definitely their own special, like this one, like the other races don't get this one. You can have all Romulan units automatically train themselves up to a certain level, which is extremely handy. And you know, they'll get all sorts of interesting unique special abilities and weapons for you to research. So I have unlocked the Romulan Titan. And of course it is the Scimitar from Nemesis, and ain't she an absolute beauty. And when you, like I showed you in the pictures earlier, she will deploy these wings when you use the Thalaron radiation weapon. She's got a one that targets planets and one that targets ships. Also got the perfect cloak, of course, so that even enemy scouts using their cloak scanning stuff can't get you. And you've got a Shinzon battle maneuver. And what else we got? Got our standard D-Derritics, of course. Gotta have that. Gotta have that. Staple of the Romulan 24th century fleet in beautiful detail. And of course we got the more modern Romulan ships from Nemesis, Valdor class. And there's another variant of that. There's Denatra. I think she's on the other variant. Nice details. And Sealer's on a warbird, and so is Tomahawk, who's somewhere. Where is he? There he is. Yep, he's just on the warbird as well. And then there's a lot of other interesting variants taken from various things of Star Trek lore, so if not necessarily obviously from the shows, because there was only a few Romulan ships we ever saw in the shows and films. There's the other one, the Tafara, which is like the super ship in the Armada 2 Fleet Ops fan game, but I disagreed with that thinking, and I felt it was better if they made the Scimitar the capital ship, so these guys have done the right thing. But anyway, you want to see them in action? Of course you do, so let's go. Let's charge in.
What signature is it?
Oh yeah. Look at all those lovely weapons. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Woohoo! Yeah! Very nice. Isn't that awesome? And it's still firing while it's unfolding and refolding its wings. Oh, here's the big boy. So this is the Cardassian type, which I'll show you more of later. It's even more tanky than the Federation tank ship. Tell the whole fleet to engage it. Oh my god. A lot of special abilities getting deployed from their ships and our ships. And the Romulans have a ship that generates all these little mini singularity things that suck ships into them and make them spin out of control. It's very useful. It's one of my favourite Romulan ships. It's called the Shadow. It's in here somewhere. Yeah, there's a Shadow. There's another one. I usually build a whole bunch of them because they have shield recharging abilities and they have that special weapon that does that. So they are deadly. Very cool. You can just absolutely mop up. Another of the advantage the Romulans have over the other races is they have a massive command cap. So they can have, the other races usually are around the 14 mark. So 14 versus 22, that's, it's incredible to get that many more capital ships. So of course I fill it full of warbirds because they have a cool vampiric shield sucking ability, and I also here we go. Yep. And I also build lots of those shadow ships for their shield recharge and special weapons. Very, very fun. So, I think that's everything I wanted to show with the Romulans. Let's do the next one, guys. Oh, a nice Gala. Doesn't that look great? Beautiful. At least I think it's a Gala or one of the variants. I'll show you later with the Cardis that they have a whole bunch of different variants of it. Anyone remember when we used to be explorers? Was it Insurrection? Okay, so here is a Klingon game, and as you can see they have a lovely interface, lots of nice colours, and here's their starbase. Interesting battle station design. I think it's from the show, possibly that DS9 episode where they have to infiltrate the Klingon homeworld because they think Gowron's a changeling. But it ends up being Martok. Spoiler alert! Possibly, but because otherwise they've just ripped it from the Armada games, and they designed it. But I think it was in the show. Klingon obsessed fans, correct me on that one, please. And they of course get the same planetary options, but with their own icons. I like it how that guy's the smuggler. Remember, he was the super tall Klingon, and Worf's like looking up at him. I love that moment. Once again, my head is just full of stuff like that. I can almost memorize every Star Trek episode, yet you tell me to do something important at work, and I'm like, oh, I can't remember how to do that. They get, there's their culture station, trade port, orbital refinery. So that's pretty similar to Federation with the separate refineries. And the research labs, nothing's different there. Things should get interesting here. We've got orbital command stations that gives some boosts to their nearby ships and stuff, I think. Yep, and helps orbital emplacements. And that gives the super ships. They've got a great combined turret, Lancer turret. Fires very quickly. And they can do minefields too. In fact, everything about the Klingons involves firing quickly. Their ships are not particularly strong compared to the other races, but they fire very quickly and have some pretty freaky special weapons. So, let's see what the fleet's doing, shall we? So here's the fleet that I'm operating, and to quickly show you how I got it, of course here's all the research stuff for your research. Their heroes, who I didn't show, are Kern, Galron, and Martok, who we'll have a closer look in a sec. Got their weapons and shields and all that kind of stuff there for the ships. The defensive one, that's pretty much the same. That's a nice shot. And then you've got all your civilian stuff to do with mining and money making and planets. Once again, nice Klingon pictures. And the diplomacy stuff. And yeah, they're standard 14. Oh, I got some artifacts. That's what I haven't been showing in some of the other save games. Look at this. You get some great stuff here using nice pictures. Look at that. Nice money making and population breeding thing there. Some good stuff. So, Klingons ships. They get an entirely new Titan design, although it might be taken from like Star Trek Online or something, I'm not sure. So once again, super fans can tell me where this is from. I just know it's not from the show. I was kind of hoping they'd do a Negvar as the super capital ship, because it was a lot bigger than everything else. But no, Negvars are just standard capital ships. And Martok gets put on once. This is him there on his Negvar. Nice looking model. There was a random event in this game where a Negvar from another reality appeared near the sun. And it was about 5 times the size of this one, and that model had beautiful detail, and it was way bigger than my Titan too. So fortunately I don't have a save game when that happened. We've got a Kern there, of course, on his bird of prey. Beautiful detail on the model as well, despite it being really small. I mean, look at that. Now, if that doesn't say Star Trek 4, what the hell does, hey? Look at that. The glowing engines of a silhouetted bird of prey in front of a burning sun. That is so Star Trek 4. Oh, take me back to the 80s, baby. Beautiful. And I'll show you these ships in action. Of course, we're going to have yeah, there's the Vorcha. Got to have the Vorcha. That was the original sort of capital ship in the Next Generation era, wasn't it? Beautiful detail on the models. And yeah, they got a lot of special abilities to do with firing weapons. They come with cloaks, just like the Romulans. That's something I didn't show you with the Romulans. They all have cloaks. This is why did I load this save game? Because there was a cool event. A super Borg cube appeared, way more powerful than a standard Borg cube, which is already ridiculously powerful. 85,000 hit points. Just for clarification or comparison, my big powerful Titan is 13 and 13,000 hull and shields. So bit of a difference, but he doesn't have a fleet. I do. And there are a lot of weapons on this. You wait till you guys see this thing fire. It's going to be insane.
We have created a new weapon.
Get in there a bit quicker. Woohoo! Woo! It's going crazy. Klingons versus Borg, baby. Look at all the little turrets going off. Look at them all. Oh, baby. Oh. Oh. A lot of action here. Very nice. So of course they've got lots to fill those gaps. They've got a lot of other ship designs, all sorts of different variants of bird of prey and bridges and things to fulfill all the roles of just different destroyers and fleet carriers and all sorts of things like that. And, lots of different designs. And of course they've got a full selection of capital ships, as I've already shown you, the Vorcha and Negvar, but they've got some now sort of made up ones, or they're from the previous Armada games or Star Trek Armada. I'm not entirely sure of the sources of all of them, because it's been a long time since I properly played the original Armada games. Well, they brought him down to 27. Beautiful details. Fires, bit of smoke, bit of damage. Oh, he's about to go down now. When this goes, it's gonna be big. I don't think it's happened here, but you get to hear these cool tunes playing, like the Klingons singing war cries and all kinds of stuff. It's very entertaining. If it has played, I apologise. I got my sound turned down so not interfere with the microphone. But yeah, Klingons, they love charging into battle. So let's get on with the next race. Great men do not seek power; it is thrust upon them. The teachings of Lord Kalis. Welcome to Cardassia, guys. This is a save game where I played pure Cardassians, because when you play as the Cardassians you get the choice to either go pure or to switch to the Dominion. And they get some really cool stuff. They get this rather fascinating huge superstar base, and your hero summoning headquarters is like a variant of Terok Nor, Deep Space Nine, just 2 pylons instead of the 4. And there's our hero units, Gul Dukat, and that's Dominion. Gul Madred, he was the interrogator, and that's Dominion as well. And Gul Kentar. It's hard to tell from the face whether he was the one in charge of the Cardassian fleet in the Next Generation episode where that other asshole took control of the Enterprise and was negotiating with the Cardassians, or whether it's the guy who takes over from Damar at the end of Deep Space Nine when Damar defects or launches his rebellion. I can't quite tell from the face, but it's one of those two, I reckon. And they, of course, have their own lovely interface and same options here, but of course it's using Cardassian icons, and they'll get some special buildings here to do with once again culture and the ability to summon some special ships, which is really cool. I'll talk about that in a sec. They get, I think, probably one of the strongest defensive platforms. It's a combination one. They get a defensive station that gives bonuses to nearby turrets and stuff. And here is the pure Cardassian tech ships, and they can have an alliance with the Kesok, who are actually a race from one of the Star Trek games. I think it was Bridge Commander. They're not from the actual show. And they get then that allows them to build these special Kesok hybrids. Now Kesoks have some of the strongest neutral ships in the game that you can encounter when you encounter them, so they really give the Cardassians a boost. And some of these guys have the ability to summon Species 8472, which is deadly. So there's all the usual ship stuff, and then here, where you've got normally the starbase stuff, we've got this special section below here where you can choose if you want to go to the Dominion. So I'll show you all that lovely stuff later when I load up the Dominion save game. And then you've got all the usual stuff here. Some of these texts are accessible to Cardassian only, some of them are Dominion only. They're giving various different boosts depending on which one you choose. Diplomacy, Military Academy's got the standard 14, but they've got, I think, a higher fleet supply. And I found another one here. That's a nice one. That gives you a bonus command point, meaning you can actually have an extra command ship. Very handy. So let's see what the fleet's doing. Oh boy. So I had just flown in here on a huge Klingon attack. You can see they've got the capital ship you saw me using as them. They got all the heroes in there and all the big capital ships. They're attacking one of my big star bases. They have been absolutely smashing it. Its shields are down. Its hull is taking a beating. It's looking a bit rough, but I have arrived. And this is their capital ship you saw earlier in that battle. It is a giant tank. I haven't fully leveled it up here in this save game, but you can make it. You can get that into the 20 sort of thousands. You can get it much higher than it is there in its strength, because there's an upgrade that increases its strength. And there's also got some beautiful abilities to do with placing turrets and launching torpedoes and giving defensive buffs to your fleet. It is so tanky. And the alternative to building this ship, I forgot to say, as the Romulans, the alternative to building that was to build a missile that will destroy fleets. Same with the Klingons, and with these guys, they can build a special missile that can destroy planets. Like, you can literally destroy any planet in a gravity well, and it's gone for good. Very powerful weapon. So let's go into the battle here.
Give the word.
Oh yeah, I think we've got the Klingons' attention, don't we? Let's get in there. So I've got some Kesok ships in the battle. I've got Keldon, that's a variant of the Galor. Archon, another variant of the Galor, so we can go in and have a close look at them. Once again, some of these ships I'm not sure what their sources are, because we know the Galor is from the show, but other ships I'm not sure about. And here's there's that guy. I'm not 100% sure which one of those two he was, but he's got his own Gala class variant. Caldecott will be here somewhere too. There he is. I think he's on a standard Gala. Yep. And our interrogation friend is over here. And they'll have their own little voiceovers as they move around. Some of them are actually from the show, some of them are guys doing impersonations of them, and they're pretty good. The other Cardassian ships, if I go to my Capitals build queue and look at them while we're doing that, they got the standard Gala there as a non-capital ship. No, but there are all sorts of interesting designs. Not sure what they might be taken from. I think that one was in Deep Space Nine though. And, whoops. We've got Scout, yep. Construction ships, capital ships. So of course you can see there's some Dominion stuff there that's locked out. Oh, look at that, the Klingons have a super weapon that knocks ships back. Pretty nasty. Ooh, look at that, all my ships are flying. Ouch. That's just mean. But the Cardassians have their own capital ships that they can get access to if you decide to go pure. Of course, I've already filled up all my slots with them. But they're all basically Gallo variants. And their special abilities tend to be all about defensive things and some cool special weapons thrown in. But they love their big hull points. Not so great in the shields. But of course if you play as the Dominion, then you get all these wonderful shield bonuses and not so many hull bonuses. Reminds me of Birth of the Federation. The Cardassians had huge hull points in that one and not so much of the shields. So of course I'm not playing properly because I'm busy gas bagging, so I might actually lose this battle even though I won it originally. It's kind of funny, really. Disable him. See, lots of Klingon debris, so I might be doing not too bad. Oof, lots of action. Nah, of course I'm going to win it. I forgot the starbase was there. Now, of course, Klingon ships and Romulan ships, when the AI is controlling them, they're particularly good at cloaking at the last second when you're blasting them and then you can't get them. I'd say he's going to turn tail and run now. He'll be like, we're going to get out of here. Can't remember if the Cardassians have any engine disabling things, but he might not be. It looks like he's coming in to kill one of my ships and he's not going to run away just yet. Bring him down, boys. Bring him down. Carnage. Apologies for jerking. Once again, this is an HD video being done using a game on max details on a computer that does not have a dedicated graphics card. It's not too bad though. Which just shows how good Sims is, how well made it is. Oh no, he's not. There's a bug with the current version. One of the Cardassian special abilities temporarily disables a ship, but it also makes it invulnerable, which is rather irritating. I just saw that reported on the Discord the other day, and I think I've just experienced it in this video. Anyway, we don't have all day to watch this battle, so let's go on to the next one. Ask not what you can do for your profits, but what your profits can do for you. Rule of acquisition. There are many rule of acquisitions, funnily enough, in this put into this game, which is really cool. Alright. Welcome to Cardassia under Dominion occupation. So there's a little difference in that they get a special Dominion version of the Cardassian starbase, and I believe this one was in that DS9 episode when they had to, they were avenging Jadzia's death. Spoiler alert. And they used the sun. They did some special weapon on the sun that caused it to cause a huge wave of plasma that destroyed the station. I'm pretty sure it's that one, because I remember all these little Dominion and Cardassian ships hanging off it. And it's similar in ability to the other pure Dominion starbase, except it has some other interesting specials. And they come with all sorts of interesting super weapons and can summon Jemadar ships and things. All starbases have pretty much the standard defense and offense upgrade, of course, and a hangar base. But the other stuff's where it starts getting all interesting and unique. Cardassians are similar to the Federation, where they can actually put a little mini shipyard inside their station and build ships. Very handy. Everything else is identical, pretty much. So as you can see, a lot of the Cardassian stuff is locked out when you go the pure Dominion route. And but now you get access to this kind of stuff. And sadly, at this save game, I haven't quite got everything yet. But there's you instead of the Kessock Alliance, of course, you get the Sonar Alliance with the Dominion one and the Breen. So they get some Breen ships, and of course the Dominion capital ships. And if we go to the battle, I've loaded for us. We can see one of my star bases is under attack by the Federation. They've got a big Titan as well. Now the Dominion get their own interesting Titan, which when you first look at it, you don't think it's that amazing in its abilities. You look at its stats there, it's nothing particularly special. But as it levels up, it ends up developing the ability, which it hasn't got here yet, the ability to duplicate itself. Well, not duplicate, it basically calls in Founder support, and you end up with 2 more of these super ships. So, I mean, this is, of course, the one that was in DS9, which was 4 times the size of a Galaxy-class starship and all that, and destroyed that Academy training Defiant class ship. And it is, quite powerful. And once you've got 3 of them, it is amazing. And its damage is insane. Like, look at the damage stats there. 736 Polaron cannon. That's already doing more damage than most of the other capital ships in the game. And it'll get stronger because it's only level 4 right now, and it's got 10 levels to go up. So it gets very powerful. So shall we do this? I'll show you the heroes first. So we've got Wei Yun, who sort of specialises in several sort of interesting weapons that hurt people. We got the Breen. Now he is deadly. He is absolutely deadly, our Breen friend. He makes funny noises as expected, and beautiful ship model. He has some of the deadliest abilities in the game. I mean, he helps with shields, and he drains other people's shields and special weapons, and just really hurts everyone near him who is not an ally. And we've got Goldacott, of course. He's the same. You'll get him in both pure Cardassian and Dominion options, of course. And then we got all the variations of the Mantis. That's I think a Shimmer, yeah. And here's a regular Mantis, which of course is the one we know from the show. We used to see it plenty. Beautiful looking ship. And let's see them in action, shall we? So I think I actually lose a few ships in this battle. It's pretty nasty. I actually managed to commandeer a Galaxy-class starship. You can't normally capture capital ships, but there was a free one, an empty one in a neutral system, and I boarded it. And that's why I've got -1 command, because I've exceeded my command points in the game. So the Federation Galaxy-class is currently pretty much colliding with my Galaxy there. You guys are getting a bit too close, I think. His is in a bit of bother, isn't it? It's going to go up. Boom! Bye-bye, Galaxy. There's that bloody powerful weapon fire. Yep, Federation's running now. They're just like, oh, I'm hurt. I'm in pain. That tanky ship is being tanky, of course. Gotcha. Disabled his engines. The Dominion have a lot of useful disabling weapons. Useful for stopping people from running away and just really hurting them. Look at this. He's about to go up. He's about to go up big time. He's going to go up. Hitting him with so many powerful weapons. Boom, baby, boom! There you go, you got to see the Dominion in action. So, now there is only one race left to show, and of course we have left one of the best and coolest for last. Well, there's a nice one. There's the ship we just blew up, funny enough. I like the Federation Titans, they're very cool looking. Now, the perfect loading text. We're loading a Borg game, and we're getting Borg text. We are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender your ships. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Your culture will adapt to service us. Resistance is futile. Welcome to the Borg homeworld, baby. As you can see, it's protected by one of those horrific giant star bases. And they get a ginormous ship building. I mean, because you've obviously got to fit a whole cube in there. Incredible, very nice. And they, once again, have your standard options, but with lots of cool Borgified icons. They get pretty much, even though despite being the Borg, they'll get pretty similar options to everyone else. They get a trading station, which of course is renamed as sort of allocating energy and resources and things. The culture one, which just talks about communication, and everything else is the same. You've got your research in your shipyards, and then defensively you've got turrets, things that boost defenses, of course. And then this is amazing. The Borg get a transwarp gate that allow you to shift ships between any planet in your empire with one warp jump. No going through lanes, you literally just go between the systems. The Romulans have a more primitive version of it that they steal from the Borg in this game, which is pretty cool, in that all their star bases can be linked up as well. But here, you don't need to mess around with the star bases or to activate an ability or anything, it's just on permanently. Very cool. And of course they've got a nice regeneration repair thing, and then the progenitor matrix. We'll see what that's about soon enough. And Borg, of course, have a pretty standard tech tree like everyone else, but all Borgified. Borg don't have sort of shields, so they have super sort of strong armor, adaptive armor, you know. And so there's lots of benefits, improvements to that armor strength, and of course unlocking all their ships. They'll get cubes and tactical cubes and spears, and they've got hero units, of course, and their hero units are great. They've got the Queen, they've got 7 of 9, and they've got a cloned Locutus of Borg, which of course was in players of the Armada games would recognise him from that, where they cloned Picard using a Dominion cloning facility and Borgified him in the campaign. And then the resource stuff, the base stuff. And look at this, instead of the diplomacy text, negotiation is irrelevant. And then you've got your fleet stuff. The Borg are penalised though. They have much less command than everyone else. Much higher fleet size though, but that is all gobbled up though, because cubes, their capital ships are just so powerful compared to everyone else, of course. I mean, you look at this, it's 53,000 points because I've got all the upgrades now, pretty much, and 65,000, you know, these are their standard capital ships, and they're more powerful than the enemy Titans. You know, they're crazily powerful ships. And so of course, look at the uses 250 supply. So as you can imagine, that higher supply count disappears pretty quickly when these guys use, you know, like Federation capital ships, for example, use about 30 supply. So there you go, there's your reference of the kind of differences here to hamper the Borg from being too powerful. And they're still the most powerful player, of course, but they used to be even more powerful, but they've been slowly balanced over the years. Of course, they've got lots of little mini corvette ships, variants of cubes and other shapes. You've got to have the dodecahedron, of course, and and there's all their cruisers. We recognise the adapter there, simulator, pyramid. A lot of the standard ones from the show and from games, the Armada games, and then of course, if all the Borg standard capital ships are like Titans, well then surely the Borg don't have a Titan, do they? Oh no, they do. They only get one, but it's a good one. Look at that hull strength. That is ridiculous. This thing is like a flying starbase. It is absolutely insane. So I'm sure you guys want to see this thing in action. So how about we finish up this video by showing you the most ridiculously powerful ship in the game in action. So, zoom out. My fleet is currently kicking the Romulans' ass. I've split it up just to hold any Romulan attempts to retake their system here. So the bulk of my fleet is here, where I've got Locutus and a standard assimilation cube as well as a sphere, and the diamonds and a trapeze fucking thingo. What is it called? Trapezoid. There you go. There's some diamonds. One of them's, I think, the Queen, and one of them's a standard one. Yeah, there you go. Yep. And they have horrible special abilities, can really do mean things to the enemy. Horrible for them, I mean. Great for you. The pyramids are good at assimilating people too. The big spheres are quite good at releasing all sorts of wonderful weapons that weaken enemies and take control of them. And you can end up building a huge fleet of assimilated ships. And as you saw in that little picture I showed earlier at the start of the video, the ships will actually change in appearance and look Borgified when you take them, which is cool. And then, now for the best stuff. I've sent these three guys to deal with this. I have got two. You're not meant to really have two unless you sacrifice one of your other ships. I've got two tactical cubes because I got the super weapon that gives you an extra ship. I got that one again. Extra command points, so I got lucky. And here it is. The progenitor weapon. It's like a super... these guys, it's interesting, I don't know where they got the lore from, but because it's never really been discussed in the show, but it's all about uncovering their creator, I suppose, the creator of the Borg or whatever, and they want to achieve, their perfection or something. It's almost taking a bit of a StarCraft reference, in a way. Like this ultimate master race, sort of started them off, and they want their abilities, and then that leads to this thing. Now this thing has a giant weapon that you think would blow up a planet, but instead it can basically kill any ship or any starbase in the game with one shot. Look at it. It does 5 million damage. There is nothing with more hit points than that, as far as I know, anyway. Even the super event ships, which put to shame most of the things you can build, don't have more hit points than that. It is insane. So, it's also like a railgun in that anything that's in the path of fire will go up too. So look at this. Big powerful starbase, fully upgraded pretty much. It's got, it's looking very strong. Why don't we target them? Here we go. Oh yeah. Boom! Look at that, everything in between. Woohoo! Bang! And then the big one, come on. Woohoo! Now, is that powerful or what? Like the Borg weren't powerful enough without this thing. They've got this thing. Absolutely amazing. And I think I won't finish off the video with this. I'll finish this off with a big Borg attack on a fleet, so you can see the whole fleet in action. The Federation's gone! The Borg are everywhere! Ah, yes. All the Enterprises, Worf and the Enterprises were duplicated, and one of the Enterprises came from a very bad universe we didn't want to be in. It was like one torpedo, I think, took out that Enterprise. Alright, so we've got an invasion. Oh, yeah, my final strike on the Cardassians. I've been kicking ass. This was a game against 4 hard AIs too, so it was, I probably wouldn't have stood a chance unless I was the Borg. Locutus, you're always last to the party. There we go. Now, I would like you all to go in and kick some ass, please.
Begin assimilation.
More speed.
You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile. Adapting weapons array.
This should be a good battle.
Increase
They got lots of Kessox hybrids, pure ships. They're quite strong for regular ships. Stronger than a lot of the capital ships, really. Of course, they're no match for the Borg, though. Last stand of Cardassian. Look at all this. Is pretty much similar to the situation where I took the screenshot, because I took that beautiful screenshot just after this, back over at the star bases. Nice Terok Nor DS9 station nearby. Boom, baby, boom. Look at all that hell being unleashed. My goodness.
By your command.
Cubes are so big, the game, can barely squeeze them into the battle. That's why they all start doing weird spinning moves and stuff. It's kind of funny. Sort of, all those bugs they just can't really do much about, Oh, look at that. Oh, jeez. Another good screenshot here on this. This is a great way to end the video. I like this. Good idea, dude. They're running away, a little late for that. Now I can tell them to go after. There it is. Da 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 da. Now the Terok Nors are actually like the mini star bases, which I haven't really shown you any of in this video, but yeah, they're sort of like a half strength version of, or a quarter strength version of the full star bases, and covered in weapons, lots of special abilities, but generally you're always going to build the bigger star bases, unless some of the factions might have a unique ability in the mini star base which the others don't have, but usually they're pretty similar. Like I think the Romulan mini star base has a repair facility which isn't in the main ones, which could be handy, but yeah. Usually I'll just build one in some empty system, it doesn't matter, just for, completionist reasons. Just, making my way here and killing everything on the way. Oh, they gotta get around that station, because the cube's gonna be like, oh, I'm stuck! It's not quite the dramatic, graceful ending I was hoping for. Cubes spinning around like they're on a dance floor, but anyway, there we go. Oh baby. So this is pretty much when I took that screenshot for you, that I showed you guys earlier at the start of the video. Was when this was happening. Look at it. It's a bad day to be on Terok Nor. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the tour of this amazing mod, and it's still being worked on to this day in 2019, although it's about to become 2020. As every time Sin's Rebellion, wow, good stuff. Every time Sin's Rebellion gets an update, an official update, the Star Trek Armada 3 team will normally update their mod to work with it, and often the Rebellion updates will add, cool new features and things that just change the game. And there's a number of add-on packs for Rebellion as well, which the Star Trek mod takes advantage of. The Star Trek mod will work without those add-ons, but you just miss out on lots of features. Like, for instance, the Minor Races add-on that adds minor races to the regular Sin's Rebellion game allows you to access cool minor races in the Star Trek mod. I think it's like a Frontier Worlds add-on that creates the militias that will go around and protect your systems and also enemy systems and things. So, if you want all the features, then you need all the add-ons. And I should also point out that at this point in time, for some stupid reason, the GOG version of the game does not have the minor races add-on, and I've seen talk that apparently it'll never get it, but surely that's not the truth. I mean, there is no logical reason why the GOG version of Sin's Rebellion can't have that add-on. I mean, it's got all the other ones. It's just silly. So, I don't know, hopefully that'll be resolved one day. But at the moment, I have to recommend you get the Steam version, because that's the only one that has the minor races add-on, which really adds an important, awesome aspect to this mod. Another cool thing is the guys behind this mod are also working on another Sin's Rebellion mod called Ages of the Federation, which concentrates on the earlier eras of Star Trek. So of course you've got the Constitution class ships and all that sort of Kirk era stuff and Kirk era aliens, and you know, I haven't tried it myself yet, but I'm sure it's a hell of a lot of fun. There's there's so many great mods out there for Sin's Rebellion. There's Star Wars ones and Stargate ones and Babylon 5 and just all sorts of good stuff. Battlestar Galactica, there's another one I've seen too. Anyway, I think that was everything I wanted to say, so I think I'll leave it there, and with this wonderful image of the Borg tearing up before Cardassians, and I'll see you next time for the next video. Bye!